Inside of You is brought to you by Vital Farms. Ryan, you know that feeling, that quiet satisfaction that you get when you buy eggs that say cage-free? Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's supposed to.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Ryan, but you've been duped, dude. And yeah, Vital Farms wants to put an end to all the duping.
I should hope so.
Yeah, Vital Farm eggs, on the other hand, they're pasture-raised, which is exactly what it sounds like. So the hens are raised in a
That'd be a pasture.
pasture, right. The Vital Farm hens are treated the way hens should be treated. They have access to the pasture all day, roaming, grazing, doing all the other things that hens are supposed to do. I love Vital Farms. I always talk about their packaging. I think it's really nice. And I just, they have those little eggs that they come like in a 2 thing. So if you're on a hurry, the hard-boiled eggs, they come in a little plastic bag. And it's like, like a little zip. It's not a Ziploc, but it's like, what do you call that? It's just a very pretty look.
Sealed?
Sealed. That's what it is. And easy to open. Yeah. You just bring it when you're on the way to a meeting. You don't want to pass out, dude. It's a nice snack. You can put some salt, a little pepper on there. You're eating healthy, Ryan.
Sounds great.
Vital Farms, pasture-raised, bullshit-free. Visit vitalfarms.com/coupon for $2 off a dozen pasture-raised eggs, and look for us in the black carton at the grocery store. That's vitalfarms.com/coupon for $2 off a dozen pasture-raised eggs, and look for that black carton at the grocery store. Vital Farms. Come on, guys. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Hey, listen, I don't care if you like hockey or sports. This is a really great story. It's from a friend, dude. This is a story about, me and this guy, Chris Pronger, NHL Hall of Famer who had to retire from many concussions and injuries, known as a tough guy, was the league's most valuable player. He's going to hate me for this. Probably 99, I think it was.
It was 99, 2000 season? Something like
2000.
That. Yeah.
But just look it up. Won the Norris Trophy. He's won the Stanley Cup with the Anaheim Ducks. An amazing career and an amazing story. And, he never gets too personal, and I think he answered a lot of the questions I've always wondered, and I think a lot of people have wondered. So we're going to get inside a hockey player today. I want to thank you all for listening. As usual, the show is, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. We got a great guest coming up. And always tweet me, Instagram me, get people to keep subscribing, folks. It helps. And that's why we love doing this for free for you. Right? We don't charge them, do we?
No,
Ryan?
we don't. No.
We don't charge
Totally
anybody
free.
a damn dime.
I know.
So all I ask is, hey, if you like it, get more people to listen to it and subscribe. How hard is it to say, hey, Mom, can you give me your phone for a second? Why? What do you want with my phone? Oh, nothing. Boom, boom. Subscribe. There you go. Nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Is your mom Southern?
I just threw that out there. Yeah. I guess it could have been. I'll also be at some conventions. I don't know when this is going to air, but I'll be in New Orleans, I think, in January, and then more to come. So check that out. And make sure you listen to In Love with Michael Rosenbaum and Chris Sullivan. We've got a lot of great guests coming up on that. And let's get inside of the legendary NHL Hall of Famer, my friend, Bubba, Chris Pronger.
It's my point of view. You're listening to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum.
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. It was Mark Messier's Queen Charlotte Island. It was a charity fishing event. Do you remember who was there?
As in
celebrities, players,
hockey players.
It was like all the Oilers. Messier was there.
Yeah, he brought a bunch of his. It was when he had left and was in Vancouver playing.
Mike Keenan.
Mike Keenan was there. He brought a lot of the Ranger guys that had won Cup. He brought a bunch of New York business guys with him.
But I remember being on a boat, and I got, what's it called when you're out?
Seasick?
Seasick. That's the word.
Is that what that is?
Yep. And I looked to my left.
The words?
The words are seasick, and Isaiah Thomas is sitting in their boat, and he's puking. I'm puking. Just a bunch. And I just remember and the rest of you guys are hammered out to sea, deep sea fishing. That was a great trip, though. That was a great trip. I remember a lot of great times. We were both young. You were
a little bit. I was a little older,
bit younger. Because I'm 2 years older than you. You're 45?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember
Is that your Hollywood age, or is that?
No, that's my age. Do you notice that guys, they always do that? You're married to beautiful Lauren. I was at the wedding. Didn't I play a song for you guys?
You did.
On the guitar? Was it appropriate?
Everything's appropriate. with you.
Everything's appropriate with me. Yeah.
You made a nice toast at the reception.
Yeah. And your dad, your mom and dad, Ayla.
Ayla.
I always
Jim.
fuck that
Big
up.
Jim.
Big Jim.
You do always fuck that up. Why is that?
Because it's a weird name.
As someone who speaks for a living, you'd think you'd fucking figure it out.
Memorizes for a living. I don't memorize anything. I just always loved your parents too. Where did we meet though? Do you remember where we met?
We met in St. Louis. Remember, you and Tom Arnold were doing that show, and you came in and dropped the puck.
That's right. We came. I don't think I was the one that dropped the puck because I think Tom did. I was.
Yeah.
I've never.
You were
been
just
able
along
to-
for the ride.
I was along for the ride, but I met you. He didn't really know much about hockey.
No.
But I was like, holy
No,
shit, dude.
And that's when he was smoking cigars, if you recall.
Oh,
He smoked
tons.
about 20 cigars one night.
Dude, and Tom, I love him, but he always needed a vice.
Yeah.
Every time you saw him, it was something else. Hey, buddy, I said, I quit smoking the fucking cigars. Now he's drinking 27 Diet Cokes on a fucking plane, a 40-minute flight to Seattle for a charity. Very charitable guy, but always has his things. God has to do. Hey, buddy. I'm like, God, how many pieces of Nicorette gum have you swallowed in the last hour? I think you might as well smoke. How much? Because isn't Nicorette gum, is it giving you the nicotine?
Yeah, that's the idea.
That's his one word. It's the fun.
That is the idea.
You see how Ryan just jumps in there with that? That's the idea.
Yeah.
But we met at the in St. Louis, and you were young.
That
dude.
was, and that was, I wasn't playing. We sat up in the box
Yeah. What
because
if
it was, I think it was a preseason game.
was it a preseason
I think it
game?
was. That's why I wasn't playing.
Yeah. Well, you never
Or unless-
rarely
or
miss
maybe,
games.
Or maybe I was suspended. Actually, I might have been suspended.
I think you were suspended. I want to say you were suspended for that one game.
I think I was.
But then a
suspended.
beautiful friendship spawned.
Yes.
And that's I met you, and I met that night. I remember meeting
Courtnall.
Jeff
Courtnall.
Courtnall, and I remember meeting. There was Twister, and there was Jamal Myers, and there
Yep.
was Elvis, Jamie Rivers,
Yep.
and there were who else was there? God, it was a whole. That was the St. Louis team, man.
Yep.
Were you on the Blues more than any other team?
Yeah. 10 years.
10 years. Was it the best of times for you there?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a blast. There was a lot of good times. A lot of late nights. I remember one night,
Yeah.
me and your boy Noodles,
Jamie McLennan.
Jamie McLennan, were coming back from our favorite local hotspot across the river in Western Illinois called Pops.
Still there?
Open
Still there?
24/7. Still open. I haven't been there in, God, I don't know how long. But we were in rush hour traffic going the other way. Going home at 7 in the morning. I opened the door to walk out and I look, I'm like, oh my God, it's light out.
My God. And for the players, they just love the players. They keep you guys there as long as you wanted, right?
Oh, yeah.
They weren't kicking you out.
No. Well, actually, no, I think the bar is open 24/7. So
What bars open 24/7?
well, that one was.
Jeez, go to Illinois, folks. But I met you and we hit it off. We started laughing. I remember doing impressions and you were doing stuff and we just got a kick. I think we were both just young, immature guys looking to have fun. We're kids. I remember doing Urban Legend. You flew up to Toronto,
Yep.
and everybody, like Josh Jackson, the actor, Josh,
Yep.
he was just starstruck. It's funny because when you meet other actors,
Of Mighty Ducks fame.
Yes, of Mighty Ducks fame, and then he went on to do other things like Dawson's Creek and what's some other stuff, Ryan?
Fringe.
Fringe. You like the Fringe? I didn't watch Fringe. Did you?
No.
You don't know the Fringe?
No, I don't know.
Apparently, it was a big show.
Yeah.
But I remember him being like, normally, if I met Jack Nicholson, I'd be like, oh, but with hockey players, Josh was just enamored. He's like, Pronger? I'm like, yeah. And when we became friends, you weren't like a big star. You weren't like a huge name in hockey. I mean, you were the number 2 draft pick, right?
Correct. And I'm trying to remember.
But you weren't like, you hadn't taken off.
No. I think that was the year that I was up for the Norris. I think that was 97. 96 or 97.
Yeah, because we were about to film. We were filming the Tom Show, which was ranked the worst TV show in history. It really was. It was ranked 133. In fact, I thought after you saw it, you wouldn't be returning my calls. Like I picked the wrong actor to hang out with.
Luckily for me, I didn't watch it.
You really didn't.
Why would I?
You didn't watch much.
I like what I like, and I don't think that was in my wheelhouse.
And that's why we became friends. It was doing Forrest Gump impressions. It was talking Slapshot, or it was talking stupid movies, Farley. That's the kind of mentality we were dealing with there. It was like, Mama, I got a farm, Mama. And I got you to come to Vegas to play in the Jerry Bruckheimer tournament. And we had Bubba jerseys, which, look at this.
got it?
I'll post this.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Bubba Jr.
Love it. Love it.
Signed by, this is 99. It's signed by you, Bubba Sr., and I believe that might be Bubba Jr.
Is that Wolfie?
It could be.
Let's see.
Yeah, Scott Wolf. I don't know. But anyway, look at that. Isn't that crazy? And then I found all these other photos.
Uh-oh.
I mean, this made me...
Dusting these off?
But look at this. This is me, you and me, holding the cup in Anaheim.
Yes, yeah.
I'll post that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's, I snuck on the ice. I was with a bunch of the guys, and we had press passes to the locker room, but that was it. And I went up to the guy at the ice, and some people went in, and I looked at the guy, I go, "This is my brother. Are you really going to stop me here?" And he looked at me for a long time, and I'm starting to get red, sweating. I'm like, "Dude, Ilya, Jim."
You fucked it up
Ayla,
again.
I'm kidding.
Jesus Christ.
I'm kidding. That was a joke.
I know.
Sean.
Yeah.
He's my other brother.
From another mother.
And the guy let me on the ice, and I just started taking, pictures with you guys. And yeah, we'll get to Anaheim. We'll get to Anaheim in Anaheim.
In Anaheim.
But man, we had so much fun. I remember and we're gonna get to you.
The nuts and bolts.
I've known you so long, and I've watched your career take off. You've seen mine take off. You've seen mine plummet. But, I'm doing a podcast now. I mean,
Laura goes, "What is he doing now?" I go, "I don't know."
But you know what's funny is I will say this: I love this more than I think I've loved anything, and the reason why, and I think you sort of became a fan of this show. Well, I don't know if you listened to it, but you were like, "I want to be on there,"
Yeah.
which means something. And
I had hurt feelings that you didn't invite me.
well, you were in St. Louis, and it was hard, but you're always invited. Open door,
Wow. Open door policy.
open door policy.
All right.
But listen, for this show, I've talked about it before, but for me, the letters I get, the response from people like, "I suffer from mental health," or "I have anxiety," or "I have depression," or "I had this in my life." But hearing actors who always think everybody thinks they have the perfect life, or sports guys, you've been through ups and downs, man. You went, you were this kid, you suspended, injuries, concussions,
Jail.
I mean, you've been around, and so it's like, I was like, now is the perfect time actually for you to come on, because I think whether you're, doesn't matter if you're an athlete or an actor, or you work, a regular
Lawyer,
9-to-5
doctor.
job, doctor, or something less important,
Yes.
a podcaster,
Somebody who speaks on a microphone in a podcast.
an engineer of a podcast. I mean, we could go down the hill here. I love Ryan. He's going to be a huge success, and the reason I'm, working with him, because I know he's going to bring me along somewhere with him. Ron?
I mean, if you pay me.
I have to pay you to
Well,
bring
you got
me
to start.
along?
You got to start at some point.
Oh yeah,
This has been fun. But,
he gets paid. Not much, but he gets paid. He gets paid. All right, so you're drafted number 2. You're a guy that, first of all, go back to Dryden, Ontario.
Yes.
Take it back to Dryden. You got an older brother, Sean, who's playing. He's getting popular in the area from playing hockey. You're like, there's 2 of you?
Two of
of
just
you.
me and him.
There's just you two.
Yep.
And I mean, your parents seem like they were good folks, right?
Yep.
Did they kind of let you get away with murder? That's what I'm guessing.
Pretty much. Yeah. My nickname growing up was Chaos.
That's it?
That's it. Every day, we either played road hockey, played hockey in the basement, played out on the outdoor rink, or we're practicing or playing down at the
Every day.
local rink.
What
Pretty
else
much-
is there to do?
Pretty
in
much
Dryden?
every day.
What else is there to do?
Well, in the summertime, then we would go swim and golfed a lot. Just kind of fucked around like stupid kids.
And did you always?
You know what? We were allowed to be kids back then. That's the beauty of it.
They just said you don't have.
I'd leave
come
my
back when
house
it's
at
dark.
8 and I'd come home at 5 and God knows what I was doing. But
And your parents never worried. He's going to take care of himself. His brother's watching him. He'll.
wow, where are you going to go? It's Little Dryden. Where are you going to go?
Yeah,
What are you going to do?
that's true.
You
You
know,
might
I
fall in an ice fishing hole or something.
No.
There was ice fishing there, right?
Oh yeah, great ice fishing.
You still go ice fishing there?
No,
Why not?
it's too cold.
You got too
I'm
cold for
soft.
Dryden. You got all soft in your
I'm
older
soft.
days because you used to want to do that.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I go snow machining, do all that fun stuff. It's great.
So
But
you're
I'm too soft now.
too soft. Your parents, so they let you go. Now Jim was a drinker, right?
Not really, no.
He wasn't, because I always remember one story about your dad. The story of
was
the olive oil.
That was his buddy. That was Don.
That wasn't him?
No, that was Don. Remember we were at dinner.
Go ahead.
All right, we're at dinner, local Italian joint in Clayton where I lived, and me and you were at dinner with my dad and his friend Don. And Don's crushed it's after a game. Don's crushed. And he keeps trying to grab his drink, but really it's a bottle of olive oil for the bread. And I keep pushing it away, go, Don, no. And he keeps grabbing it, and I push it away, go, Don, no. Finally, I move it over a different part of the table, and then me and you start talking, and I kind of forget about him. And sure enough, I look over, and he's chugging this olive oil. I'm like, oh, my God. What the fuck are you doing?
I never forgot. I obviously did forget. I thought it was your dad.
And by the way, that night, he got up at like 4 a.m. to take a shit and broke the toilet. And somehow figured out a way to turn the water off.
He broke the toilet from. Oh, well, that makes sense.
I don't know if he like dropped down on it or leaned back too hard. The toilet fucking broke, and he had the wits about him to turn the water off at the bottom.
Did you and your dad ever get into any kind of altercations? Because I noticed like you're a hockey player. Sean's a hockey player. Your dad's a big guy. He's like, did you ever get into things where you're like, hey, because I know you. I know you're a hothead sometimes, and you like things done your way, whether you're playing or whether you're a control freak. Like me, at times, you like things your way. Did it ever occur to you, like, you stepped over the line, you're like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not fucking doing that, Dad. I know that happened. I want you to tell me a story that you recall where you and Jimbo got into it.
He only got mad at me twice, like where he was pissed, where I was like, oh, fuck, I'm dead.
How old were you?
I was 14, maybe.
And what happened? How tall are you at 14?
I was 6'1", maybe 6'2".
So you thought I'm cool?
I can't remember what I did, but he was pissed, and he came firing home and was like, fucking sat me down and was like, I don't ever want to fucking see you do that. First time he ever swore at me too. And
really?
He was so mad.
Were you scared?
I was just like, holy shit, I'm fucking dead here. Got up and I stood around behind the couch so I could get out of the way. I was like, holy shit, he's pissed.
But never like a smack or a grab?
My mom was usually the disciplinarian.
She'd spank you.
She would spank me, and then she used to hit me with the wooden spoon. But when I was 8, I clinched the old butt cheek, and the spoon broke, and I turned around and started laughing at her, and that was the end of that.
I'm doing squats, bitch. Ain't gonna work no more with your fucking spoon. No, I mean, but you're already like a strong kid. I mean, you grew so fast. Did you know you were going to do something? Did you know?
No, you know what? I always tell people they don't. I'm super small town, middle of nowhere, no internet, no friggin' nothing. You don't even know. Like I used to get the Hockey Digest and the hockey news once a week. That's the only hockey information I had. We only got Hockey Night in Canada one night a week on Saturdays. There was no other hockey games on TV, so that's it. That's why we're outside. We're outside every day.
So that's why more Canadians make it to the NHL than any other country.
Well, but that's changing. I think Canada is like 45% of the league now.
What is it, Slovakia or some shit?
No, the U.S. is, I think, 25%. It's skewing more. Yeah, it's shifting. The tides are shifting.
The tides. So really, all you could do was go outside and play and play hockey and do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but you think about it. I mean, you're outside. You're being a kid. You're outside. You're screwing around with your friends. I think we had a close-knit group of friends whom you've met that we all lived, you're not like you're living too far anywhere in town, but we all lived fairly close. We all congregated. Your parents knew where you were. They knew who you were with, and they were friends with their parents.
Right.
So, it was easy.
Yeah. Do you still
easy growing up? Easy.
Yeah.
But I never had any information on anybody that my age that played down in Toronto or played out in Vancouver or Calgary or any of the Montreal, any of the big cities in Canada. I didn't know who they were. Right. I didn't know anybody. And then I went to a camp down in, I think it was Guelph. Guelph. That's in Ontario. It's about an hour and a half from Toronto. And really just started to see these kids. I didn't know how good I was. I didn't know. You don't really know. You play in the local tournaments. Farthest we'd go was Winnipeg. You play against some kids, but you don't really know.
But did anybody go? That Pronger kid, the giant.
I was always my age group. I was always the best kid on the team. I played up a little bit. I was one of the better kids. I think being tall, you have that allure or that aura of, oh, he's big. I was skin and bones, but I was tall.
Were you tough? Were you always tough?
I was mean. I liked.
Altercations. You like
No, I mean, I fought a little bit, but I didn't. I fought when I needed to, but I didn't fight all the time. I didn't. I was playing so much that it's tiring.
and nobody wanted
Wrestling around like that.
wrestling around.
That's tiring.
Did anybody like when you were younger? Did people even pick fights with you? They'd go, "I'm going to take the big guy down."
Yeah, sometimes.
Did you ever get taken down?
You got to pick your battles. I didn't.
That's a smart player will always pick his battles.
One of the things that I know the best, I know who's on the ice at all times. I know who's coming on the ice. I know who's leaving the ice. I know matchups. I know
who's behind you, who's around you.
I know everything. I know everything that's going on.
Is that something that was just natural to you, or did you really have to learn that? Because that's multitasking in many different ways, right?
I mean, it's sense, it's awareness. Some of it's hockey sense, some of it's awareness and knowing what's going on around you, street smarts, all that shit plays into it, I think. But I think just always knowing and understanding your role, understanding your matchup, understanding what you have to do to be successful, what you got to do to win. I just wanted to win.
Right.
And there's some hurt feelings at times. But I just want to win.
Were you a crier when you were a kid? It seems to me like there's those kids that are so full of anger and so full of emotion that if something didn't happen, you go, fuck, and you start crying.
Not
at a young age.
I would fly off the handle. I don't know if I cried a ton.
You break your stick, you throw shit.
Oh yeah, fuck. Yeah.
Well, I remember playing hockey with you. I think it was you and Jack, your little Jack.
Yeah.
We have the same birthday. You and Al McGinnis and myself.
Yeah.
Al McGinnis, one of the best slap shots ever in hockey, if you want to look him up.
Google him.
But I remember we were just taking some soft shots on goal. He was playing goalie, and if you let a fucking goal and you go, fuck! and you look at me and go, don't fucking score on him.
Yeah. Don't score on him or that's what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen. I mean, and he's a big one now too, huh?
Yeah, he's 6'7".
He's 6'7", Jack?
Yeah.
And he's obviously, where was he playing?
He's playing basketball.
He just said no to hockey.
He was playing, and then
he was good.
He was all right, and then he just, he kept growing, and it's awkward.
And he's playing high school hockey?
Nope, he's not playing hockey at all. None of them.
I'm sorry, basketball.
Yeah, he's playing high school basketball. So is George, and George is 6'2" now.
George was a little turd.
He's 6'2".
And what's Ella doing?
He might. Who, Lila?
Lila. Fuck.
You're fucking up every name, aren't you?
Fuck. It's hard with all these names. Yeah.
Yeah, she's probably 5 feet. Doing her art and tennis, and she's the easiest of the bunch. She's an old soul.
It's nice to we're going to get to all the dirt and stuff. Because, you talk about growing up. Shit, there's so much dirt. Now, dirt, when I say dirt, it's just like, people, like I wrote some shit down. Like I know you, so to speak. I don't know exactly how to pronounce your mom's fucking name.
So we're tight.
Well, it's been years because we really hung out a lot. And then you
got famous.
No. Well,
Yeah,
Smallville hit. That's
yeah.
not true, but I was in Vancouver 10 months a year for 7 years.
Yeah, well.
But then you got married, obviously, and you had a family, and you started playing, and you started changing the teams you were playing for. You were playing from
I wasn't necessarily
the Blues to the Oilers to the Anaheim Ducks to the Flyers. Some would say to the Coyotes, but you really didn't. I mean, that's sort of true. I mean, look, we both went our separate ways, but I was always like, man, I do miss those times, the Prongs. I do miss those, times with, McLennan was the coach, Joel McLennan.
No, Joel Quenneville.
What did I say?
Jamie McLennan. You are having a tough go right now. We'll edit that out, huh?
Hang on, let's start again. Joel Quenneville, right?
Yeah.
Quenneville was your coach.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Most people that are listening to this, look, if they're not a hockey fan, they're probably like, oh, McLennan is.
He's a great coach.
He's a great coach. And I love Quenneville. I remember Quenneville seeing me come to some of your games on the road or whatever, and he'd see me show up to we go back to the hotel because we're going to go out. He'd look at me and go, hey, this is on you. Like, don't you're in charge of him.
Don't take the big guy down.
I'm like, nobody's in charge of him. I remember going in Toronto when you came up for Urban Legend. We went to a bar, and some guy was just trying to be a hothead. Some guy was just trying to go, oh, there's Chris Pronger, NHL star. He's a tough guy. He's like, yeah, fuck you. And you're like, yeah, bud, come on. Let's not do this. You were trying to do the right thing, but then you had another, couple couple of drinks, and you're like, you know what? Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you. Let's go outside. And I'm like, no, we're not going to do this.
That was, you got to remember, I was 20.
You're 26 years old.
No, I was like 23, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're younger than me. So you're a kid. What I'm saying
Yeah.
is you're a kid at the time, but this guy started with you. Did you have a lot of that where guys would just start shit with you?
You know what? Not a ton. I think as we age, you figure out life, you figure things out. I think a lot of times early on, like once I turned pro, 18, 19, 20, 21, it was a little awkward where people, they want to say something and it always comes out bad.
Always.
And I don't like people staring at me. So they're staring at you. They don't know what to say. So then you're like, what the fuck's your problem? Like they're kind of, I don't know, starstruck, whatever.
So you
They're
don't
like,
even know that they're just starstruck.
you don't know.
think they're just
well, but
being
they're
dicks.
staring at you like kind of awkwardly. And you're like, what the fuck is your problem? When you're young, you don't realize.
And you did a lot of that.
Yeah. And
And it didn't end well.
no, I never got in any fights.
You never got in
Nope.
fights. So
Nope.
did you always hang around other guys that would fight?
No, I'd never been the only, and it wasn't even a fight. The only time anything like that ever
The
happened,
brawl.
the alleged brawl in Buffalo.
So it
where-
wasn't a brawl? Because you
No.
got suspended.
No, I didn't get suspended.
You
They couldn't-
didn't.
They couldn't because it was like mid to late March. Boston and Buffalo were fighting it out for a playoff spot. There was 9 of us in the bar, and they
Who
would.
was it? Twister?
No, this is when I was in Hartford.
But there was 9 of you.
Yeah. We spent the night in jail.
And you didn't hit one person.
No, nobody on our side touched a soul. I was actually being the peacemaker.
What?
Well, there was freaking 6 bouncers coming at us, and we're like, "Hey, relax."
Well,
we're
they're
outta here."
coming at you. They didn't swing punch. They throw punches.
They're stepping forward. We'd step back. They step forward. We step back. We're like, "Hey, we'll leave."
They
don't
just wanted to fight you.
Yeah.
Were
Everybody.
you scared?
No.
A little?
No, because then the guy kept pushing. I'm like, all right, listen, stop. Please stop. We'll leave. And then he started chirping more, and you're like, all right, finally, you're like, okay, fuck it. Let's go then. And then the cops came busting in. So they had called the cops. Cops come busting in. There was no punches thrown on our side. We were getting maced. We're getting our,
They maced you.
yeah, the cops.
You got maced.
I couldn't figure out. I was trying to figure out. I'm like, man, why is my ear so sore? Because they started and
It burns.
I turned, and my whole ear was raw. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with my ear? And then I remember, I'm like, oh shit, I got maced. Another player got cuffed, and then they maced him. Like, it was a total disgrace.
And this was in Buffalo.
Yeah,
Do you hate Buffalo to this day for that?
I do.
She's got a bad taste in your
Every time I'm there, I break out in hives.
mouth. That's a fucking lie. But
No, I just
you don't
I'm
like
in
it?
and out. I'm in and out. If I gotta be there, I'm there in my room. I'm not going out. I'm done.
You know what would be fun? Why don't you and I take a trip to that bar back in Buffalo and step in, see what's happened after all these years? Hey, is that motherfucker?
You know what the funniest, well, it's funny now, but then we're in the bar. The bar is right across the street from the police station. They put us in police cars and fucking drove us around the fucking city, laughing and chirping us. I mean, it was, I go back.
Wow.
I didn't even know the cop shop was across the street. I went back there and later I'm like, holy, what the
Well, didn't they get reprimanded? Did anyone ever write an article about the police in Buffalo?
No.
But that's pretty fucked up. They
No
just wanted to
shit.
get a rise out of you guys.
Yeah, and
They wanted to be a
we didn't
mockery of you.
take the bait.
But you still got maced. You still got arrested.
Yeah.
Does it still piss you off to this day?
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Yeah. And then, so one of the bouncers kicked a guy and broke his toe. So who do you think got sued?
And you had to pay it?
No, fuck no. It was like 2 or 3 years later. All of a sudden you get served with a lawsuit. I'm like, lawsuit for what? Pain and suffering. Guy broke his toe, cheap shotting a guy when he was on the ground. And we're going to give him money. No.
Did you have to pay for your drinks?
No.
Oh, good. Fuck them. Fuck 'em. I mean, I know you probably had a lot. So then you were traded from Hartford. Obviously, everybody
Yeah.
knows the story for Shanahan, right?
Yeah.
You get traded to the Blues.
Yep.
And that's when the real... And I remember reading articles along the way, like Keenan was like, oh, he's impatient, he's immature. I mean, you're young. You're 24,
Yeah.
25.
No, I
You
was
were.
20.
20.
When I got traded there, I was 20.
I mean, I don't know how you do it. If you look back, it's just like, yeah, of course.
Well, you know what? The funny part and the stupid part as kids and then growing up and adult and understanding a lot more, you just wish what you know now you could have known then.
But why? Then you don't have those memories.
A lot
Is
of
that
stupid
fun?
memories.
A lot of stupid
And
memories.
if you don't make those mistakes,
You know, they always say, I
it's
saw
what makes you, Michael.
what?
It's what makes you. Your
It's
mistakes.
what makes you,
It helps
Ryan.
mold you.
You don't look like you do much stupid shit in your life.
No.
You
No,
kind of
no,
like
I keep a good, yeah.
you have a good head on your shoulders.
Yeah. It's screwed on pretty tight.
Yeah, it's taking.
It looks like it.
He's mature.
And let me tell you, it hurts.
It does.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Spielberg said, I've quoted this, he's the most immature person there is. Believe it or not, Steven Spielberg says he's the most immature, but he's incredibly responsible. And those two things, it's okay if you're
Yeah.
responsible.
Yep.
If you're immature and irresponsible, you're fucked. You are fucked. Right? It's all right.
Absolutely.
Because Sean had a successful career. He went to the NHL. He wrote a book. Great guy, smart guy, good hockey player. Was there any brother jealousy issues ever growing up? Whatever, like he was big
No.
brother, and then all of a sudden you became the MVP Norris Trophy winner.
No, I think when you look at and you ask me about growing up in Dryden, he left when I got to high school. He left to go play junior hockey in Thunder Bay. So we didn't even go to high school together.
Were you bummed?
A little bit, I think. Where you want to have that experience, but there was the friendly brotherly rivalry.
Right.
Where you're competing. As a younger brother, you're always trying to. I truly believe that was a big part of my success. Was always playing against bigger, stronger kids, older
Always, right?
kids. You got to keep up.
That scene in Youngblood where he goes out there and the older brother teaches him how to fight.
Yeah.
Did that ever happen with you and Sean?
No.
You think that there's any truth to that scene? Stupid question. Remember Farley? He would interview. Right? I mean, was there ever a moment where you're like, I got to learn how to fight? Did someone teach you to fight? Did you take boxing lessons?
No.
I mean, you just
No.
knew how to throw a punch.
Well, I think
You knew to tuck your thumb around the fist.
I'm a very visual learner. You learn real quick how to play defense, or at least I did. I don't know too many guys that like getting punched in the face.
No.
So there are some that do, but
Do you at all?
like getting punched in the face.
Do you like punching people in the face?
It felt pretty good back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah. What's one fight that you remember just in the NHL that you punched someone and boy, did that feel fucking good.
I fought Todd Simpson in Calgary one night. This is 96. It might have been my big year. I'm trying to think where he was cocking off and
What was he saying?
I don't know, just acting tough. And we were in a big scrum and I don't necessarily think he thought I was going to fight. So there was two fights going on. I was one of them. There was another one going on. And I was like, all right, well, then let's go. He was acting tough. And I'm like, okay, let's go then. And boom, gloves came off. I'm like, I'm not gonna wait for him. So then I dropped my gloves. He's like, oh my God, you suckered me. I go, I did not. I go, you wanted to fight. I said, let's go then.
Was it one punch?
No. It was a good fight. I hit him with a good left that kind of buckled him. I think it kind of surprised him because he tried to switch and then I switch and hit him first with my left. And he's like, oh,
No.
Rero.
Do you do you think that a lot of times players in the NHL especially, people don't understand this, but like, I hate hockey. The fights, it's so stupid. I'm like, you don't understand. You have to be a part of it. It's imagine being as intense and competitive as you possibly can, and the hits and this and that, and something happens and you could change the outcome of a game by getting the crowd into it, getting it, and you get into this fight, and then afterwards, even though it seems like these two people hate each other, isn't it true that hockey players can go to a bar and go, hey, what's up?
I think when fighting is about emotion and the mental and physical aggression that trying to win at all costs and, your anger gets the better of you and you're like, all right, fuck it, let's go. Those are the ones where you just can see the passion between the two guys and you're like, okay, I get it. The stage fighting, I was never a big fan of. It didn't really serve too much of a purpose. And then there, obviously, you get the guys that need to come out and be like, hey, settle down. The big boys come out and go, settle down. And you're like, okay. And you can just feel the temperature just, okay. Things are calming down just a teensy bit. But you two guys battling in front of the net or in the corner, and all of a sudden you hit the guy either too hard, or you punch him in the back of the head, or whatever. You stick him in the groin, slash him behind the knee.
You
whatever.
gotta wear the double cup.
Yeah,
Prongers
whatever. Something happens, and then it's it's all about the emotion and aggression of that particular moment.
Well, some people would say, "Hey, Pronger's one of the dirtiest players that ever lived."
Listen. I wanted to win. That's it. So if people have a problem with it, my teammates didn't have a problem with it.
Of course they didn't.
So, it's again, you're one of those guys where people love to hate you, but they want you on their team.
Yeah.
So I'm good with it.
Chippy.
Yay, Chippy, yes.
Did your coaches ever say, "Prongs, I need you in this game.
Well,
Keep the stick down."
Well, and that goes back to fighting and some of the, stuff. I'm like, yes, the coaches would be like, "Hey, we need you on the ice." Starts get chippy and like, "Hey, don't get into a fight or don't do this." There are moments where they try to curtail your aggression, depending upon the game and situations, etc. But for the most part, no, you play how you play, and you just got to kind of live with it.
Yeah. Did you ever feel like I lost the game for us tonight? I
No.
got that penalty.
No.
With 3 minutes left, we had the chance. I got the penalty. Were you
No,
ever hard on
because
yourself?
you know what? There are gonna be moments where you take those, but if we're winning the game or a tie like that, I'm not necessarily looking for something like that. Trying to catch a guy coming across the middle, or I'm not trying to take a guy out in the corner too hard.
If you do something, it's an accident trying to save somebody from scoring a breakaway goal.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do sometimes, but I would leave a game if I thought I didn't play good. I'd be pissed off at myself. And, I think as I aged, I learned to leave the game and that game at the rink. But early on in my career, man, there'd be games that would last a week where I'd be like, fuck, I didn't play very good. And I've already played 3 more games since then.
What that is that's a little anxiety. You had anxiety.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, how did you deal? Did you, I guess, drinking, right? I guess you'd go after a game and you want to get a drink?
Didn't, you know what? I really didn't drink a ton during the season. You'd get the 3 days in between games, and obviously there's a flashing green light after that last game. You got 3 days off, so you're going to have time to recover. You're going to go have a good time.
Right.
But I picked my spots, and I really didn't drink a ton during the season.
Did you or were you intimidated of any? Was there one player or a couple players in the league when you played them, you're like, fuck, like intimidated in a sense that
they're too good, or they're too big,
or they're gonna get around me every once in a while, or
no, I didn't. I think you go into those situations with the awareness of how good they are, and with the idea of pre-scouting. Back again, this is before the ridiculous amount of video that these guys do now.
You were just watching tape.
I'm watching tape, or I'm watching highlights and seeing the different moves that they have, so that, hey, okay, I just saw him make this, so when he cuts this way, he's going to try this move. You're just banking all this stuff up in the old Rolodex up top, and should you get into that situation, you have an idea of the different moves that they can make or try on you, and usually you're going to be able to stop them. But there was moments where you're like, holy fuck, this guy's pretty good.
Who was players that you just thought, wow, these guys are great. These are great. They're hard to play against. I don't look forward to playing against them. Or maybe you did.
Yeah, I like playing against. I mean, that's where you kind of test yourself. I like playing.
That's like playing with the bigger guys back when you were younger, right?
You want to test yourself. You're only going to get better playing against the best players.
But who are they to you? Who are the players that you thought were the best?
No, they were at the time. You look at the Russian Five. I'm actually
Detroit.
I'm in that. I think it's the Red Army or the Russian. One of those movies that they just made.
Yeah,
I'm in. I think it's the Red Army one. I'm in there just getting worked over.
Really?
Tic tac toe. I'm like, fuck.
Why do you pick that clip?
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about the game.
Can you? Yeah, exactly. I'm like, fuck. I remember that. That was brutal.
I mean, so those guys, especially, I remember when the Blues could never get past Detroit.
Yeah.
I remember going to those games. I remember with no time left, McGinnis for the Blues fires that slap shot, I think from half ice, and it goes in and ties the game. And you guys just got so close with those fucking Red Wings, but you couldn't get them, right? How frustrating was that?
It was a thorn in my side. It was those losses, especially when you see them to go on and win, it grinds on you. You're always getting the questions. What's wrong with you guys? Why can't you beat them? Why can't you do this? Why can't everybody's always second guessing. Everybody's a fucking armchair quarterback. Fuck.
That's so true.
Oh my God. It's because by the way, because it's so fucking easy. It's so easy to win. It's so easy to win.
Why don't you just do that?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Why don't you learn how to fucking skate? I'm doing what you do on skates, on a thin blade, on ice, at speeds of over 40 miles an hour. You fuck. It's an incredibly hard sport, and intense, and you're playing at high speeds, the best athletes in the world, and you're going down to the wire. And what sucks probably for you is like, you knew that if the Blues would have won those games or won that series, they probably would have won the Stanley Cup 100%. Or had a good chance.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's what hurts the most.
Yeah, and we had some really good teams. The losses eat me up more than the wins.
Oh, of course.
I mean, there's nothing better than winning. I just hate losing more than I love winning.
It hurts more to lose than it does feeling great to win.
Yeah. That's my mindset. And other people, they can slough off the losses. It's easy for them. And just for me, it was never easy.
Inside of You is brought to you by Warby Parker.
Is that the SBN guy?
It kind of sounded like that. Brought to you by
Michelob Ultra.
Dude, Warby Parker. Look, when you think like glasses, right? I wear glasses. I'm wearing them right now, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm wearing my Warby Parkers right now.
For the listeners.
I'm telling you right now, I never wanted to shop online for glasses because you think, I just want to go inside. I want to try them on. And then I want to spend $3,000 more than a plane ticket for prescription lenses in there. That's not how this works. And I'm glad they forced me to take a quiz because I wouldn't have done it my lazy ass. And it took no time at all, Ryan. I ordered 5 glasses, 5 pairs of glasses. I go, oh, I like that one. I like that one. Up to 5, right?
Yeah.
I tried them on for 5 days. I asked Jess in there, Jess, which one you like? There's no obligation to buy. Shipping is free and includes a prepaid return shipping label. You pick the glasses, they send you the 5 glasses, and I guarantee you're going to like one. You might even want 2. Glasses start at $95, including prescription lenses. You're not going to find that, and they look great. I don't know what else to say here. They look good. You go in one of these fancy ass stores and you're going to spend $400 or $500. Guys, you need help with glasses. Do what I did. Take the quiz. Don't be lazy. Answer a few questions. They'll suggest some great looking glasses that are totally personalized to fit your face, your style. Free home try-on program, like I talked about. They're going to send you glasses. It's got a return prepaid shipping label on it. They just send it back. Here's what I want you to do. Head to warbyparker.com/IOU. You take the quiz, you order your free home try-on. It's that easy. And you're going to be happy and you're going to thank me. You just need to do this because they're badass. They got sunglasses starting at $95, and for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need. Blue light filter lenses are now available. Warby Parker believes glasses should be viewed as a fashion accessory, just like a bag, a shoe, a necktie, a hat. They make it easy and affordable to accessorize with glasses. Hey, tell them what happens if they have an iPhone X.
You can download Warby Parker's app.
Yeah, and then you can see they got a brand new virtual try-on.
Yeah, you could try on your glasses on the phone.
Yeah, you could see the realistic color, texture, the size of each style using just your phone. Order the free home try-on program or request a trial of Scout contact lenses for just $5. Visit warbyparker.com/IOU to learn more. Inside of You is brought to you by Stance. You know how much I love Stance. I have so many pairs of their socks, and what sucks is I bought all these socks before they were my sponsor. I've spent thousands of dollars. I have so many Star Wars socks, Major League Baseball. I got freaking Wu-Tang socks, Ryan. They're badass. They're comfortable. My listeners right now, listen up. It's Christmas, for God's sakes. You're going to love these things. You got a boyfriend, you got a girlfriend, you got a sister, a mother, a nephew. This is a great stocking stuffer. My listeners get a free pair of socks with their next order, period. All you got to do is go to stance.com/IOU. That's stance.com/IOU. You get a free pair of socks. I honestly, Ryan, can you think of a better gift or something to give for the holiday than Stance socks?
Socks are a great gift now.
My God, they're great. I wore them on the plane. I just got home. I had a 21-hour flight. I had Knicks socks. You know what Knicks are?
Like the New York Knickerbockers.
That's exactly
of the
right.
National Basketball Association.
That's exactly right. They've got anything you want. You think you're a fan of, like you're a fan of Disney or Marvel or Major League Baseball, NFL, the movie Step Brothers. They got socks for everybody. The quality and detail that goes into Stance socks is incredible. The design range from simple to elaborate with a ton of insanely cool collaborations like I talked about. It's really a great product. Design, comfort, casual, everyday styles like no shows and crew socks or performance athletic products. Look, they're the official on-field sock of Major League Baseball. You know they're great socks when Major League Baseball supports them. You know what I'm saying? So what do they get, Ryan?
They get a free pair of socks.
They do. Sign up right now. Do your thing. Get a free pair of socks with your next order. All you got to do is go to Stance, STANCE, like pants, stance.com/IOU. Stance.com/IOU. Inside of You is brought to you by Tushy. This is just something that everyone needs. You know, when you go to those fancy places, well, I don't go to fancy places, but I've seen like friends, rich friends that have those bidets that are, it squirts up in your ass and it cleans your ass and it's nice and all that stuff. But they're a fortune. They're a pain in the ass. No pun intended. Well, this is a product that you don't need a lot of money to have a clean ass. Everyone has an ass, right? I assume you have an ass.
I do have an ass. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everyone deserves the gift of Tushy. Okay? Wiping your ass with dry toilet paper, it doesn't remove, I'm going to be a little graphic, but it doesn't remove all the crap. It just doesn't, right? That's why you get like hemorrhoids. People get like UTIs. Because there's bacteria left there. Plus, you wipe so hard, your ass bleeds. I mean, I'm getting graphic, but this thing is a badass. Look, wet wipes. People, I would use those wet wipes on my butt rather than toilet paper. But you know what? That's terrible for the environment. You got to do something for the environment. And they cause anal fissures. You don't want your anus fissuring.
Isn't it not fissuring?
I think that's the sound of a fissuring. It's $79. It helps you get everything out. I love these things because they look cool. They're easy to put on to your freaking toilet. It cleans your butt. And if you're a listener of IOU, inside of you get 10% off your order. You go to hellotushy.com. And by the way, I'm on their site now looking at it. They've got so much cool shit here. Gift bundles. They got the Clean Butt Club. I mean, it's really a fun site to go on and look through stuff and shop. Great for Christmas, ornaments, stocking stuffers. But this Tushy thing, it sprays your ass with fresh water, not toilet water. I think that's the big misconception, Ryan.
Oh, it's not toilet water?
No, Tushy connects
That's important.
It connects to the water supply behind your toilet. So you spray your dirty parts with clean, fresh water. It's the same water you brush your teeth with, except you're cleaning your ass with this clean water. I've said enough. Go to hellotushy.com. All right? hellotushy.com/IOU. hellotushy.com/IOU.
10% off your butt.
How grateful are you? Are you able to be grateful? Has it taken time to take a step back? I once read something. There was an article in Sports Illustrated, something about you a couple of years ago or whatever, and how you went through such a hard time because, you had the concussions and you had the eye injury. You went through fucking hell with the eye thing. I mean, hell. I know how bad you wanted to get back. I know how, how hard you fought to get back, but, you had a limitation.
Yeah.
There's something that, just was, this is life.
Yep.
And how hard was it to finally accept that? Did you have to go through therapy? Did you have to, where you say, hey, I'm fucking, I remember you're hurting your family inadvertently? Were you a pain in the ass to be around? Were you miserable?
The first year, when I first got hurt, I remember 3 or 4 days into being hurt, I was sat in my room in the dark for 9 days. And, I'd try to get up, take a leak in the middle of the night. I'm falling into walls. I'm all over the place.
Well, why?
Just my head, I couldn't.
Concussion.
Yeah, I just couldn't catch my bearings.
How scary is that?
Well, at the time, you're probably a little bit out of it, but you're also just trying to get back. So I just always used to push, my knees are, well, don't worry about it. You know, oh, my head's around. Just don't worry about it. You know, you just try to push this stuff aside.
Ice down after the game. You'll be
Yeah,
fine.
Throw a little ice on it. Whatever. Rub some ointment on it.
You'll be fine.
It'll be good.
You're fine.
You know, and I just always had that old school mindset of mind over matter. Just fucking don't worry about it. It's not, it'll go away, or, you know, it always has gone away before. It'll go away. You know, I get my bell rung a few times. It always went away. You know, it just, this one just kind of stuck there and hung around. And
What year was this?
2011.
2011.
Yeah.
It just wouldn't go away.
Well, I was getting nauseous and driving I had to drive my car at night with shades on because the lights coming at me bothered the living hell out of me. So I'm driving around my car in my shades.
So you can't even think of playing in a fucking arena.
I used to go over the bridge, over to the game rink, and, you know, I used to get so freaking nauseous. Just the
You can remember it now.
Oh.
I could see you feeling it.
Awful. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You just start and get sick to your stomach, and then your head gets all fucked up. And you're like, oh, and then you're showing up at the rink. You're like, I'm going home. Fuck this. You know, like ultimately when I went to see the doctor, and they're like, oh, you're done.
He said that.
Yeah. He's like, how the fuck are you playing? Because I was playing, so I came back and I played 5 games, and then I was off. Well, I mean, I just wasn't myself.
And
I
were
was
you in pain?
nauseous
Were you
on the
nauseous on
I
the
was
ice?
a little nauseous on the bench. You know, my eyes were, the bright lights were bothering me. I had a headache. You know, all the symptoms. But again, I was just like, fuck it, it'll go away. And I was actually getting worse, not better. And it was bothering me more and more. Finally, I told the trainer, I go, something's wrong. I gotta fucking see the doctor.
So the doctor...
And I see the doctor, and she's like, wow, we got to send you to Pittsburgh and go see the concussion guy. And I get there and I see him, and he's looking at my file, and, you know, you fill out the forms. How many concussions have you had? I'm like, I don't fucking know. 100? When you think about it, when you're a kid, you banging your head on the wall. Well, that's, you know, when you're seeing stars, you start trying to understand what is a concussion, what is the medical term, and what is the medical diagnosis of what is a concussion. There's so many different,
Right.
I'm seeing stars. You know, think about back to when you're
blacked out.
I blacked out. I'm seeing stars. I got a stinger. I got a, you know, I got hit one night in LA here. Friggin' 2 bright lights. You would never know it was an innocuous hit. Just hit me in the jaw, kind of coming across.
Really quick?
It was quick. We both fell.
And then you were fine?
I was right beside our bench. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, oh my God. As soon as I opened my eyes, fucking 2 bright lights coming out. Thank God I was right beside our bench. I just stepped onto the bench, sat down. I called the trainer. I go, ooh, dude, I got 2 bright lights. You know, this is like mid-90s. Then he's like, oh, okay, well, can you play? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I sat back in the rocking chair and just kind of used my peripheral vision and kind of lifted my head up so that the bright lights weren't straight ahead where everybody was. I just kind of lifted my head up.
Jesus. And you
Stupid
weren't
shit.
scared at all.
Well,
Something
but
like that
but you
happened
don't,
to me. I'm out.
But you don't know any fucking better.
Yeah, that's what you've been living
And
with.
I play hockey. That's what I do. And, you know, I think it was in the playoffs, so you're just playing. You're not really paying attention to a lot of that stuff.
I mean, that's terrifying. Like, I'm hearing this, and like, but when you went to that doctor for the first time, or not the first time. But,
yeah. So to get back to that,
Yeah.
he looks at my file, and he looks at, kind of looking at me, checking me out, and he comes back. He's like, "How are you playing? You just played?" I go, "Yeah, I played 5 games." He's like, "What the hell were you doing? You should not be playing." I go, "Oh, okay." I mean, ever. I'm like, "What?" He's like, You can't play anymore. You're done."
Just like that.
Well,
Did
because
your
he
heart
looked at
sink?
Well, you're kind of like, you know, we'll see. You know, you're like, we'll see.
Was there part of you that goes, my God, I think he's right. What if he is?
Well, when you never really go through your whole file. You're not going through all your... At this point, I've had 13 surgeries.
On your eye.
No, 13 surgeries on my body.
Your knee.
My body. My back, my knee, my wrist, my hand, all the different things. My foot, all the different stuff. And you're like, okay. You're looking at that, and your fucking file's like this thick. And you're like, yeah, maybe this time. I don't know. Can my body really take this pounding? Can it really?
And do you want to?
Well, now your head's all fucked up, and you're like, my eye was fucked up. My head was fucked up. Where is it going to end? And now Lauren's like, what are you thinking about here? I'm like, I don't know. And then the doctor, it's almost like he did me a favor. It's like, you're done. And then, you know what? And then Ed Snyder, the owner of the Flyers, his son-in-law is a doctor, so he shows him the file, and the son-in-law's like, how's this guy playing? He's like, this guy can't play. He had the same diagnosis. He's like,
Jesus.
oh my God, this guy can't play no more.
And Ed, the owner, is probably thinking,
Awesome. No, he was awesome.
He wasn't saying shit. He's got 4 more years. In this
No,
country.
he was awesome. He was the best.
Health is wealth, my friend.
He was the best. He was like, then you're done. You're done.
Did you get emotional? Do you think have you still yet, has it hit you even, like, look, I know you. You're the kind of guy that, look, I don't cry in front of people. I mean, maybe a little bit.
only at your movie premieres.
Yes.
Well,
afterwards. When I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. Why did you have to deal with it? But let me ask you something. I know you, Prongs. You're a tough guy, and I got a little surprise for you here in a second. But the guys that know you, the guys that have seen you, you're tough as nails. You're giving. I remember just going to the All-Star, the NHL All-Star game with you. Afterwards, you got jerseys for everybody, signed by everybody. You got me the Team Canada jersey signed. You threw it to me. You threw it to your dad. You threw it to your friends. You got them all signed. You went in there. You're a giving guy. You're always there. You're funny. You're impatient as fuck. But
stubborn.
But stubborn as fuck. The most stubborn. But I've just never seen you. And maybe you do this behind closed doors. I just can't, even with Lauren, it's probably hard. You're just you've grown up to be tough. You're 6'6". You're like, when Quint is talking about the shark in Jaws, he's an eating machine. He's a fucking, his eyes roll over black. He's had lifeless eyes, like a doll's eyes, That's what I'm fucking thinking. And I'm looking at you. Is there ever a moment where the superhuman Prongs just goes, I don't know, for me, it's like watching a Rocky scene from the movie Rocky in my basement alone, and just like the tears start coming and I get the emotions out. Or is there ever an emotional moment where you cried to Lauren, or you cried and said, I need to let this out?
Yeah, no, you know what? I never felt sorry for myself. I had a long career. I did everything that I could. At the same, Sidney Crosby was going through the same thing at the same time, and you try to compare. And at the time, you're like, he was 24 or whatever he was, and you're like, at that age, you're like, that's a lot to be given up.
Yeah.
Because people were talking about, well, maybe you should retire. Maybe I'm like, I don't know. That's time's up.
Just like that.
It is. There are moments where you're sitting at home and you're watching the game, and you're like, fuck. If I was there, that wouldn't happen. Or if I was there, we would have won that game. Or,
Do you ever look back, though, and like you'll watch a clip from Anaheim when you're holding the cup up and brings tears of joy to your eyes?
You know what? More relief. Relief that you're finally able to win it. Because every player, like, think about Ray Bourque at 40. Every player,
that's what they want to win.
They're all, but
it's a holy grail.
But the whole world gauges you on, well, how many cups has he won? Well, not everybody has the chance to play with the Red Wings in the 90s or play with the friggin' Blackhawks.
It's rare.
It's rare. So you get guys, oh my God, he's a 5-time, or play with the Oilers in the 80s. Holy fuck.
How many did they win? 6?
5.
5.
They
should have won 6. Remember that one?
Yeah. For me, it was more a sense of relief that, that's one I can knock off the list, where you're like, because it's so fucking hard to win.
Yeah.
So much has to go right. You got it. There's a little bit of luck, the injury bug and all the different things that kind of play into it. Your goalie's got to be hot. You got to get timely score. I mean, there's just so many pieces to the puzzle.
Our goalie's really crazy. Would you see every goalie you've played with? They got to be a little crazy, right?
Well, you have to be.
Grant Fuhr was crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Who the fuck wants to stand in front of? It's so funny. You're like, I would never want to be a goalie, but yet I'll stand in front of a 100-mile-an-hour slap shot to block it. But I'm not putting on those fucking pads. And
that's right.
It's just, I find it amusingly odd that I'm okay with that, but I don't want to go in there with all that shit on.
Well, let's go to that. You, was I at that game? No, I don't think I was at that game. I was at one of those games in that series. It was with Detroit where the heart stopped. You got hit in the chest with a puck.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody, and by the way, my listeners, most of them, they're not, I wouldn't say
doctors?
Hockey fans.
Are they doctors?
They might be doctors.
Okay. Do you know what it's called? The medical term for what happened to me is called commotio cordis.
Commotio cordis.
Commotio cordis. It happens a lot to Little League baseball players where the guy's standing at third or the pitcher and they get hit with a line drive and it hits them right in the heart. And what happens is their heart stops. My heart, so I blocked a slap shot. It hit me right on the heart. My heart skipped 1 beat. One. And that's all it took.
You just collapsed.
That's how much oxygen and how much shit happens in your body with one heartbeat.
In a split second,
I got
you
hit
just down.
I got hit, and I'm like, fuck, that hurt. And I'm thinking in my head, I go down, cover the puck, and I'm like, do not let these fucking people see you on the ground. So in my head, I'm like, hey, get the fuck up and get to the bench. And I kind of stumble up and black out. And in the video, you can see me stand up and I start going towards the bench, and then boom. Thank God I had my hands in front of me, or I would have did the Kevin Stevens and face planted and broke my face. But I kind of crumbled down on the side and hit my ear a little bit. Another ear one where I woke up and I'm like, fuck, my ear's sore.
Somebody maced me while I was on the fucking ice? Is that Todd Simpson? What the fuck?
So, and then I remember waking up and I'm looking up and I'm like, holy fuck. I'm in the middle of the rink. I'm looking up at all these Red Wings banners and I'm like,
this is a playoff game.
Yeah.
What game is this?
This is a game 2. And then I look down and my jersey's cut open. My shoulder pads are ripped apart. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I look over in our bench. I'm looking, Holly's crying on the bench. And everybody's like, the whole
Brett Hall.
Yeah, the whole place is like silent. You could hear a pin drop. And I'm just like, what the hell? And then I'm not married at the time. My parents are at the game. Oh, would Mrs. Pronger, would Chris's wife please come down to the Zamboni entrance? Because they had the ambulance there for me. And I'm listening. I'm like, huh? I'm not married. It's my parents.
That's all you can remember.
How old of this am I? I got married already?
I mean, I was at that wedding. It was soon after. I mean, you could have died like that, right?
So most kids, when they get hit, they die because their heart's not formed enough. They're not strong enough. They die. I just happen to, I don't know.
You got lucky.
A lot of people. But again, to go back to, talking about playing hurt, whatever, I'm fucking dumb. I'm 22 or 23 at the time. I'm dumb. I don't know anything. I go into the hospital. They put a heart monitor on me. They watch my heart for 24 hours. They watch my heart for 24 hours. I fly home. I'm in my frickin' suit and my dress shoes. Get on a treadmill with the heart specialist in St. Louis. I get on this treadmill and I start walking. And she's monitoring my heart. And she goes, yeah, okay, you're good. So I played that night.
The next night, it was 2 nights later.
No, I was in the hospital, skipped one day, and then played that next night.
And here's Chris Pronger just 2 nights ago, a stunned audience here in Detroit as a 97-mile-an-hour slap shot hit him in the chest, and he collapsed to the ground. His heart skipped a beat, and folks, when that happens, it's called
commotio cordis.
And boy, was that a frightening moment. Dude, so you've been through hell, and with the eye thing, the concussions, because the eye thing's a separate thing.
Yeah.
I remember going to see you after a game. I remember, I'm not going to say this guy because he's an owner of one of the, he's now the GM of, don't say his name, GM of one of the NHL teams.
Yes.
But he was like the joker in one of the locker rooms in one of the teams you played. And he used to take, in the showers, he'd take a bar of soap and he'd swipe one of the guy's butt cheeks and go, my ATM's not working. The ATM card. They're like, get the fuck off me. I remember being in there and it was just chaos. People laughing and joking. It seems like today more players are more serious. Because I'm friends with some of the guys. I don't really go to a ton of hockey games, but I remember, for instance, the Blues going in the locker room after, like, yeah, bud, come fucking down. No one gives a shit. Come down there, and it's like Rudy Pocek, and it's fucking the old guys, and Dimitra, God bless him, man. That was a fucking horrible story. Yeah. He was a tremendous player. He's from, was it Russia or Slovakia? Slovakia. One of the best players in the Blues, right? He was a scorer.
Yep.
And he just he was playing in overseas, and his plane crashed, and he died like 5 years ago. Just a travesty. But back
9 years ago.
Oh man. But I just remember the locker room just filled with joy and fun and life, and I guess that's probably hard.
There are.
But you were always like had ice all over your body. I'm not kidding. It was so uncomfortable. You had like, Ryan, I'm not talking just like an ice pack, like us pussies, like wear on our neck. Oh, my neck. You know, I've had some surgeries. These guys were like, they have these cold things. What are they called? The cold dips.
The tubs, cold tubs.
Cold tubs. They're just sitting there for like 15, 20 minutes on ice. They have ice wrapped around each body part. Every game. Did you hate that?
You get used to it.
It was routine.
It's maintenance, yeah.
And you had to do it.
I put ice bags on both my knees every day.
Even when you're not playing.
No, well, practice every day. I heat them up every day and I cool them down every day.
Did you ever, you like Quenneville, right?
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah.
Great coach. Went on to win with the Blackhawks.
Yep.
By the way, how happy were you? Of course. I remember talking to you. But when the Blues finally won it. I mean, I know you wish you were on the ice then, but you...
It's great for the city.
Great
52
for the
years.
city, right?
52 years.
52 years.
Yeah.
That was an emotional day, huh?
Yeah, it was. It was just great to see a lot of longtime fans, a lot of great people.
Well, you live there still.
Yeah, a lot of great people come through the organization, that are still a part of it, and I think just to see it's a baseball city. It's obviously the Rams left. Just the emotion, and you know what? To see the city show as well as it did after winning, nobody burned anything. Nobody fucking trashed anything. Everybody just got drunk. That's it. They just had a great time.
Right. Hey, we played in this, the alum, you just got inducted to the Hall of Fame a couple years ago. 3 years ago?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. You're inducted into the Hall of Fame. Congrats, my friend.
Thank you.
Fucking brilliant. We played it was an All-Star game. It was a Legends game before the All-Star game. It was me, you, and a bunch. I was so honored to be able to play, and this was like Dennis
Oh, that was the
Savard.
top 100.
Top 100 Hall of Famers that you were, yes, and I got to play in that.
Yes.
And
you were okay. You were okay.
it was all right. But it's funny is Bieber was in the locker room with me, and he's like, "Hey man, you're on Smallville?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah. How was that girl? Kristen Krug? Yeah, Lana? Yeah, she was really pretty." And I was like, "Yeah, she was. I got to kiss her." He's like, "Oh yeah, cool, man. Yeah." So let me ask you. I want the real answer.
Okay.
Before you played, were you like fucking Justin Bieber, the fucking little twerp? I don't like this fucking kid. Or were you like indifferent or didn't care, and then afterwards you had a little more respect for him? What was it?
No, I didn't really care one way or the other. I was just having fun, and he was out there trying to score goals. So we were like, "Fuck that. He's not scoring here." He really wanted to score badly.
And by the way, the fucker never passed.
No, because he wanted to score so bad.
I got so pissed. All the guys on the bench. I was playing with like the best. What's his name from the Oilers?
McDavid.
McDavid's like Jesus, and he's the nicest guy. He doesn't say a fucking word. He's like, man, I haven't seen that guy pass a puck once. But it was great. Gretzky was coaching us. Lemieux's coaching your team. I mean, it was a treat. That was like.
That's the last time I had a pair of skates on.
Was it painful for you?
No.
Did you have any kind of pain or?
No, it was fun. Because the only reason I played was 3 weeks before that I played the Alumni Winter Classic in St. Louis.
But now you're done?
Done what? Playing?
Are you done playing?
I haven't put my shit on since.
Would you do this? Be honest. If I book the ice next time you come in town, just me and you and maybe a goalie, just go out there and pass around and shoot?
Not a fucking chance.
Why?
Because I don't skate. It hurts my knees.
Like bad?
Yeah. They're bone on bone, and the angle with the skates, it's.
Can you fix that?
Yeah, I can get new knees.
Why don't you get new knees and then we'll play? Then I'll book this.
Then I'll be able to skate with you. Let me go endure that so I can skate with you.
Listen, I got a little surprise for you. I asked a couple of the guys. It was last minute, but I had a couple of guys call. So we could always edit this, but let's just see what Jamie McLennan has to say.
All right.
Yeah, the message is for Chris Pronger. This is your $1 million bartender calling, Jamie McLennan, a.k.a. Noodles. I heard a vicious rumor that you're talking to Rosie. Listen, I just had a couple questions. I don't know how far you're going to let everyone peek behind the curtain. But I wonder if you should tell the story of us getting no sleep and then you showing up at that breakfast for about 500 people. There was kids there and a lot of sponsors and very wealthy people in St. Louis. And I slept for 40 minutes, and I don't even know if you slept at all, Chris. but my table had nobody there, so I could just pass out and sit there. You unfortunately had to, being the captain, you had to make a speech, and at one point I looked over and you had a couple kids in headlocks, and you were roughing them up. So maybe we should talk about that, tell that story. Not too many questions for you, but if you're not nice to me, maybe I'll go on Rosie's podcast and tell a bunch of stories as well. You're a good man, Chris, when you're sleeping. Rosie, I love you. Later.
All right, so that's Jay McClellan. He was the backup goalie, who was a good goalie.
He was my $1 million bartender.
What does that mean?
He was paid $1 million as salary, and essentially he was my bartender. That was his job.
Salary, and he's make me a drink.
That was his job.
Make me a drink backup.
His job was to we'd go out obviously a lot, and have the odd one.
Oh yeah,
and he would be my bartender.
I can imagine you on the bench chirping at your own team, at your own players. What the fuck was that? Right in the front, you missed that? Were you that guy?
At times.
Did you ever say, guys, my fucking fault? That was my bad. My bad.
Yeah. Not often though.
Any guys that didn't like you that you were like, he didn't like me? Or they have to learn to like you. They didn't have a choice. They must like you.
Yeah, I think some they didn't like practicing against me. Early on, I was not very nice to practice against. A little rough in practice for some folks.
This is another play.
Do you want me to tell that story, or do you want me to?
What story? The story when you're hammered, when you're going to the...
Yeah. Do you want me to tell that story?
Go ahead.
All right. So we went out, couple other buddies from LA come into St. Louis. So we show them the town, right? So we take them out. We have a 6 a.m. breakfast with the Blues. And we got home from the bar at 5:30. And apparently he went to sleep. I just was like, well, fuck, I better not. I won't wake up. So I put my suit on, brushed my teeth, boom, out the door, get over to this breakfast. I'm sitting with the team president. And
you probably reek like alcohol.
Oh, had to have just reeked. Sitting with a couple major sponsors. I'm still crushed. And now I got to make a speech. I'm talking to these kids. I got these kids. I'm taking pictures. I'm signing autographs, having a good time. And Noodles is just staring at me like, how the fuck is this guy doing this? And I'm just, hey, how are you? Got my game face on. We leave to go to, now we got practice. We got to go to practice now. We're still cut. I get to practice and Joel's like, hey, are you okay to practice? Oh, we had to do power play. We had to get there early because we were working on the power play. And Noodles had to be the fucking goalie. As a backup, he had to be the guy, the shooter tutor.
Oh my God.
And oh my God, guess how many pucks he stopped?
0.
0 fucking saves.
Was Joel pissed?
No, he was just like, so afterwards, we're moving the puck around doing whatever. And then afterwards, Noodles and I are skating around and Joel comes up and goes, holy fuck, boys. That must have been a good one last night. It's like, are you guys okay to practice? Like, oh yeah, we're good. We'll get by.
Did you have a game that night?
No, God, no. We didn't play for a few days.
Oh, thank God.
No.
Just hammered.
Oh, there. And by the way, another one with Noodles. I won. So in my contract, this is when you could do this. I had a bonus for winning the plus minus award.
What means so guys out there, if he's let in more goals than he hasn't, so he's a negative if more goals have gone in. If it's a positive,
when you're on the ice,
when a goal's scored, he gets a plus.
Yes.
So if he's 5 on 5, 10, right?
5 on 5, not when you're shorthanded or power play.
Right.
I had a huge bonus for that, and I won it.
Were you a plus 10?
I was plus 52.
That's ridiculous.
So I won the award. So I got $1 million bonus. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to take everybody out for dinner. We go to Dre's here in town, and we're actually out west. So we go out for dinner, have a great night, show up to practice the next day. Now Joel knows we're going out, or we're having a great time. It's team building, chemistry, Get to practice, and this ring. I don't know where the hell it was. It was not where they practice now.
El Segundo.
It was a piece of shit. It was a
Could have
shitty
been the Isoplex on Roscoe.
It might have been. It was a shitty rink.
Shitty.
Ice was terrible. It was like this. And we get out there, and I'm a little under the weather. And again, Joel saddles up next to me. He's like, hey, kid, you okay? Can you practice? I go, nah, I'm good. I can get by. I'll just go to the back of the line. That's the trick. You always start at the back of the line, and as you work forward,
Keep going to the back.
then you get like 2 away, and you just scooch back to the back again.
Oh, yeah. So you never even play.
You never even have to go anywhere.
All right, let me get to this.
Hey, Rosie, it's Jammer here. Jamal Mayers here calling about prongs. I hear you're going to interview the big bitch on your podcast. I do have a couple things you should bring up. I'll go quickly. One is I was his roommate for 5 years, and he was always at the head of the curve of stuff. So he started drinking these protein shakes and just had the worst ass in the world, would absolutely destroy the room. Clearly his body was
Like a match.
processing the protein well, and I was the unfortunate person that had to sit in that room. Next thing is, ask him about his special MVP season. Not only did he win the league MVP, the Hart Trophy, but he won the Norris. Not sure if anyone's ever done that. Maybe Bobby Orr. Was a special year. He controlled games from the back end. I hate giving him a compliment, but he was unbelievable that year. I'll ask him about when I showed him about his Amex points. He had no idea that you could buy things with Amex points. I was so proud. I had 120,000 Amex points, which is $1 per point. And he looked up his account. We made him an account, and he had 1.8 million points. Could have bought himself a house with Amex points. I was a little jealous, but it was pretty funny. And then I also thought it was pretty funny that Prongs was, as you know, really mean on the ice. And I always found it funny on the ice with him when he would make grown-ass, tough hockey players show fear and apologize to him. And he would respond with the fact that he is not afraid to take a suspension. He loved that line. He would tell guys all the time, I'll take a suspension on you. And, but he's a fun guy to be around. A lot of people think that he's so serious all the time, but he liked to joke around, and very few guys love the game as much as him. So I learned a lot about being a leader from him. But, yeah, you can rip on him about those couple of things. Hope you're well, buddy. Have a good talk. Later.
I mean, obviously these guys have a lot of love and respect for you. You probably don't talk to a lot of these guys much anymore.
Yeah, I see him once in a while. I catch up. You know what it is when you got friends. It's like me and you. You pick up where you left off. You don't. If you're really good friends with somebody, you don't have to talk to them every day. You catch up when you can catch up, and you pick
a little
up
text here, a little
you
call
pick
here.
up right where you left
It's
off.
the people who get really like, I have some family members or some friends who are just like, oh, you don't call me back? Oh, you don't do this?
Yeah.
And it gets like, it's like, hey,
Very sensitive.
it's not because I don't
Very
love you.
sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People get sensitive.
Yeah. So I only felt bad. So to Jammer's point, I only felt bad for half a second once. We were playing LA. Remember Big Steve McKenna?
Oh, yeah.
It's like 6'9" or
Big-
whatever.
big
it was.
guy.
Yeah. And he was trying to run around and be an idiot.
He was more of a fighter, right?
Yeah.
He did.
And he's trying to run me, and I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And to his point, I'm like, stop fucking coming near me, or I will fucking stick you right in the eye. And he looked at me. I go, I'm not fucking kidding. And so the play goes on. We change, and he's kind of looking at me. All of a sudden, he's back. I don't know why he was on the ice when I was out there, but whatever. He was on the ice, and the puck went near him. I don't know how. And I went to lift his stick, and I missed. And I fucking hit him right on the eyebrow. Almost took his eye out. And for like a half a second, I was like, oh. And then I was like, I fucking told you. I fucking told you I was going to get you.
What did he do?
He was like, holy fuck.
This guy's fucking mad.
For like half a second, I caught myself. I was almost like, oh, sorry. And then I was like, yeah, no, fuck you.
Hey, look, I could talk to you for fucking ever. This is already awesome. But I want to finish with this. You're a family guy now. You're a dad of 3.
Yes, sir.
You've been a husband for I'm gonna say 21 years.
It is almost 19.
19 years.
Yes.
You're married in
01.
01. I thought it was earlier. What do you do? How do you do things differently than your parents did, where they let you just kind of? It's a different world we
It
live in.
is.
It's a different,
It
and it's a
is.
different country, and it's a different.
It's a
you know,
different world, different country, different everything.
right. So what do you do?
Different generation.
How hard is it to be a dad? How lenient are you on them? Do you make sure they understand how to be grateful? Do you ever talk to them?
You
and go,
know,
hey,
we
listen.
we talk about that stuff, being grateful and appreciative for what we have, for what we're able to provide them. You know, I think for us, I mean, we're very hands-on parents. We, you know, while I might be out here right now, but we're around a lot. We're around a lot.
Do you say, Jack, I love you, buddy. I love you.
Yeah.
Do you say I love you to your kids?
Yeah.
Is it easier to say it to the girl because you're a tough guy, so the little daddy's girl?
No.
Hey.
No, I tell all of them.
You do. I love you.
do, Yeah.
You say, hey, I love you, little fuck. Do you have to add something to it? Or can you just say I
No,
love
I
you?
can say it.
You
You
can?
know, every night, you know, when we put them
Do
to
you
bed.
say to Lauren, I love you? Do you give her a kiss goodnight?
Yeah. Sometimes. When she's not sick.
You're the kind of guy that when you get any kind of affection, I think like me, I'm not the most affectionate guy in the world.
Yeah, me neither.
But it's hard. It's because it's hard for me, and I try, but I have to be really comfortable, and I don't know, I just don't feel comfortable for some reason. Maybe
Yeah.
because I saw the dysfunction with my family my whole life. So I don't want to do this. So when it does happen, it's probably a really nice thing. You know, Lauren's probably like, oh, Chris did that, and he gave me a kiss on the cheek. I guess that's good for the next 3 years. Is that sort of how it is?
No, I think you try to. Where I have a problem is when I'm told to do it.
Yeah, nobody wants it.
No. Well, then
I
I'm
hear
like,
that.
when she-
You
once
could be
they,
more affectionate.
no, when she tells me you have to do this, I'm like, I don't have to do fucking anything. You can't tell me to do it. Now you ruined it.
Now you ruined it.
I was gonna do it.
Were you going to do it? See, here's the
I
thing.
was gonna do it.
That's the thing. If you were like putting it in the calendar, be nice to Lauren and the kids on April 4th, that's different. Because she doesn't know if you're going to ever do it. She's like, hey, you know. But you know,
Note to self.
well, it does go a long way. I'll tell you what. Little things go a long way. Like, I have a difficult time talking to my mother. I love her, but I don't like her. I don't. She knows it. But you know, sometimes I called her on her birthday and I talked to her for a good 20 minutes, and I gave her undivided attention. I didn't veer off and look at
was
the
all about
TV
her.
and sports. And I said, you know what? I'm going to talk to my mother on her birthday, and I'm going to ask her how it was and let her talk. And no matter how annoyed I get, I'm going to stay with it.
Yeah.
And at the end, I said, all right, well, Mom, I got a couple meetings, and I really enjoyed talking to you, and I want you to know I want you to have a happy birthday, and I love you. And that was it. And it was for her.
Yeah.
And it also felt good.
Yeah.
It felt good. So I'm just saying, I'm not telling you what to do. But if you could just, every once in a while, it does help. A little act of kindness, a little act of gratitude.
Yes.
Those things fucking go a long way.
They do.
Do you ever
Yeah.
say it to your parents? You ever
Yeah,
say,
once in a while. Yeah.
they're getting old now.
Yeah.
know.
Well, when they can hear me.
Are they both deaf now?
Are
Fully?
they?
Well, they were deaf when I knew them.
My dad is pretty well, and my mom is deaf in one ear.
Your dad's completely deaf.
Pretty much.
Does he know sign language?
He's no, he reads lips and he can hear kind of, but he's gonna get the cochlear ear implants. And
Do those
that's supposed-
work?
It's supposed to help. I don't know. We're gonna find out.
That'd be nice, huh?
Yeah. So if that works, then he can hear again. But you make a joke, you got to say it 4 fucking times. It's no longer funny, and now you're annoyed.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Just think about it for him. How
well,
bad
no.
does it suck
So
for
every
him?
time, you know, me and my brother were talking, and I'm like, just think how mad we get, how painful it is for him, knowing that you're getting pissed off that he can't fucking hear you.
Yeah. And you know what? Could be a job for the bartender,
Yeah.
for McLennan.
Yeah.
You have him come along with you. You tell a joke, and then you leave. McLennan stays there with your dad. He gets some drinks, and he tells him the joke for the next 5 minutes. That's what he does.
There you go.
Fuck. I always have an open door policy in St. Louis, right? I could always come and stay with you.
Yeah.
You still live in the same place?
I got a room for you.
You still have that golf game in the basement?
No, I got a new place.
Is it nicer?
It is.
And you're working for the Florida Panthers.
Yes, sir.
And what you're scouting?
Senior advisor to the GM. So I kind of do everything.
So if I ever want to go to a game, it's easy.
Yeah. Just call me.
But you have to pay for away games, right? Hockey players have to. Isn't that the weird thing?
Yeah.
Home games, you're all right.
Yeah, I don't know. People probably, and most people don't know this.
They don't know that. But if you go to a game and you ask your friend for a ticket, people go, hey, you know Lundqvist.
It's not
I'm like,
baseball where they get umpteen million tickets.
Because they can't fill the stadiums.
Yeah.
Hockey arenas are tough. So when you ask me, hey, can you get me tickets to this hockey game? I'm like, the players actually have to pay for the away games.
Or you're paying for it and
Or
they
I'm-
leave them COD.
Always.
And oh, by the way, I've done this. I've left tickets. Somebody said, hey, can you leave me tickets? I go, yeah, they're going to be COD. They'll be left. When you don't pay for them, they're charging me.
Yeah.
They're setting them out of their allotment and
Right.
taking them off the books. If you don't pick them up and pay for them, I'm getting charged for them.
Do you hear this, guys? Everybody out there, we just want you to know this. This is
Yes.
really important.
And I've been fucked by a couple people for
I'm sure.
thousands of dollars because they didn't want to pay for their fucking tickets. You know who you are, fuckers.
You know who you are. This has been a real. Did you learn a lot, Ryan?
I did.
Lots of swearing. I apologize.
You don't. We could bleep it out,
My
especially.
tender ears, yeah.
Yeah. Especially,
You know, I don't know how these podcasts work. I didn't know how real you wanted me to be.
dude, this has been great. Like, I think you're one of the best hockey players ever lived. You're a great friend, even though I don't see a lot. I always think about you.
When do you think about me? When you're on the throne up there?
Well, sometimes.
Should I tell people that this being the first time I've been invited to your house, I had to christen your toilet?
That's it. He walks in the house. I gave him a hug. 5 seconds, I got a pinch of loaf. He walks up to my bathroom, my master. It's gone. It's just
The
destroyed.
porcelain has been
Just destroyed. But you know what? I do think of you. Here's how I think of you. Right now, as I'm interviewing you, every day I look at Pronger. Your
Yes.
jersey's always in
right
front of me.
there.
Here's to many more good years for the both of us. Your Bubba, Chris Pronger, 44. That jersey was given to me in 98, probably. That's the MVP jersey, dude.
That was 2000.
And it's a real, was it?
Yeah, 2000.
But that's a real jersey. That's like you off
That's
your
off my
back.
back,
There's
yeah.
markings of the
Yep.
stick on it.
Yep.
So, you know, that's a good one, man. I really appreciate that. So I do think of you. I think of you fondly. I know you and Lauren have a little business together too. on the
We
side.
do.
Talk about that for a second.
The company's called Well Inspired Travels. It is a luxury travel business, something that I've been fortunate enough to do, and we've been fortunate enough to do as a family, is travel and go on these great trips. And now kids are a little bit older. You know, Lauren ultimately started it in the beginning and brought me on board. And I love to travel. I love seeing new places. I love how you feel when you're on vacation. You know, the happiness and joy that it can bring you. And, you know, coming from the injuries in different places that I've been, it kind of brings you back and re-energizes you, revitalizes your mind and your body and spirit.
Well, dude, where can they find you on the Instagram?
I am at the Chris Pronger.
Just on Instagram now.
Yeah. And at Well Inspired Travels is our company.
And Lauren can be
Lauren.
found on what Instagram?
That's
hers.
well, that's ours.
That's yours.
We're together.
You're together. Well, check that out. Listen,
At
proms.
wellinspiredtravels.com and at Well Inspired Travels. for
Yeah,
Instagram.
it's interesting stuff on Instagram. So check that out, man. Chris Pronger, I love you, buddy. Thanks for letting me be inside of you.